Hey friends, can't wait to have you watch this episode of the Spiral Up podcast with one of my dear friends and Spiral Up expert, Cindy Strong, where we're going to talk all about the back end magic, the funnels, the things that make you look like you have your shit together in order for you to completely scale and to impress your clients and your prospective clients. I'll see you inside.
Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Wieme, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Wieme, and today you guys get a chance to spend some time with one of my dear friends, one of my colleagues, one of my Spiral Up experts, Cindy Strong. You guys, if you are not watching on YouTube, then you are missing out on this fabulous hair that Cindy shows up with every single time I see her. I'm like, you just make me happy with your hot pink locks, girlfriend, and your outside appearance is just a small little nugget of what's inside because you are full of sparkle and full of pizzazz and all the things. I'm so glad you're here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to be with you and hang around with you because of all the magic.
Oh my goodness. You guys are going to be in store for a really great treat today because Cindy is one of our experts inside of Spiral Up. So if you are not familiar, inside of my signature program, we actually have all of these beautiful handpicked experts that are there to represent different facets of success, whether it be something that I not necessarily want to have to be the expert in, or maybe I just don't love it or don't have that talent. And Cindy is one of our amazing resources for our clients inside of the program, specifically for tech things. And I just got to say, Cindy, that you are a master at so many things that it was like literally like, okay, Cindy, what should we talk about today? Because I take clients through all kinds of things with you because you're such a resource for so many things. But maybe before I keep babbling on, why don't you tell our audience a little bit more about you and how you love to show up in the world? Like, what is your favorite thing to help people with?
Well, I really like helping people finally get that whatever tech thing it is implemented and done and out there, because that is like a huge roadblock. When I first started in all of this, that was the one thing that just got me stuck. It was like you're sitting behind that speed bump and you're like, why can't you even get over this? Because I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what to do. I don't, I don't know how to do this. This is crazy. And, I was born into a non-techie world.
Yeah.
So when I was born and raised, we didn't have cell phones and, we had dial-up phones. And, I even had a party line if anybody.
I love it. I love it.
It was crazy. Privacy on your phone was when my parents finally bought me one of those really, really, really long cords so I can go in my bedroom and talk to my boyfriend or whatever.
Yes.
Right. So nowadays it's completely different. I mean, these kids are born literally with a remote in their hand,
right?
A gamer thing or whatever they're called in their hand. And it's just a crazy world. So what happened, I was a career hairdresser and literally never thought I would ever not be that. I thought I would be there until the day I probably dropped dead right behind my chair. I don't know. I loved it so much. I loved being around people and all that. But as the world had it, they had the universe had other plans for us in 2020. That just wasn't an option anymore. And I wasn't about to, we ended up moving, and I wasn't about to start a whole new clientele and build all that out. Nearly 40 years behind the chair, did it took its toll on my body too. So,
Yeah.
and I said, well, I'm not ready to lay down. I'm ready to retire. What am I going to do? So I started getting behind the computer and learning. There were so many programs out there. I mean, I didn't know nothing about nothing. I can barely turn it on. I can barely, it's like, where's the on button? What? Oh, what? So I just said, you know what? I got to figure this out because this is where it's at.
Yeah.
And as I started to get into it, I started realizing what I really, really like to do. And the technical part of it was just something that kept my brain just moving.
Yes.
But I still love the relationships with people. And so, there's an integration with that, but there's also a disconnect with that because you have to have time to talk to a client, to nurture them, to figure out what they need, and then you have to have time to sit behind the computer and do the things that you need to do to
Right.
the business. So and I like both of them, but mostly I like the relationships. That's the part I like the best.
Well, I think that it's because that in that relationship, you're helping somebody fulfill a need that they have. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I call myself a professional butt buster, right? It's like, what are the butts in the way between you and success? And oftentimes it's the mindset crap that can get in our way, but oftentimes it's also just strategy and tech. And it's like, Lachelle, I don't even know what a funnel is. I don't have a website. Or a lot of my clients, either have never been in business before, or maybe they've been in like network marketing where everything is given to them. And now all of a sudden they're building a coaching business and they're like, I have no idea where to start. And I joke around, Cindy, because I think like you, I'm very resourceful. I'm very determined. Like, don't tell me I can't do it because I will prove you wrong. However, any gray hair I have, I attribute it back to building my own website a couple of years ago by myself. And not only did I build this website by myself without any help, but it was with a program that was still in beta. And it attracted me because I was a cheapskate and it was a one-time fee for life. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. And every other day, the programming changed because it was still in beta. And just when I figured something out, could be completely different. And I would like literally cry because everything I had just figured out was completely gone. And I just think like, okay, interesting how God brought me that experience because I know how to do it. And I know how stressful it can be. And I know how much, if that stresses you out that much, how it can be a major block in doing the things that are necessary to actually grow a successful business, right?
So true. So true.
And
I remember the first time that somebody told me that I needed a freebie. I don't even know what that was.
right? What's a lead magnet? Like, I know.
What? You got to build your email list, so you need this freebie. So the very first time that I got into Canva and I started making my freebie, it took me 2.5 weeks to make a simple 5-page freebie, and it looked. I mean, I kept looking at it going, oh, what is this? I don't think this is, this is crazy. Now I can whip them out in about half an hour, but whatever.
Yes, I know. Same. I know.
So, but it's just one of those things where, people will get stuck. There's certain people that be like, forget this. I'm not going to do this. I'm
Right.
just going to go get a job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's the thing when people give up, or, a lot of, as you know, right, a lot of my Spiral Up clients are just like so done with the hustle for the sake of hustling. Like they've been doing that. Like they're doing all the freaking things. They're wearing all the hats because they've been a solopreneur. They're trying to figure it out. They're learning things. They're watching YouTube videos, and it's exhausting, right? And so what we want to do, you and I, right, is we want to help people work smarter, not harder. We want to help them to be able to make the impact and the income that they need without burning themselves out. And when you can have a really solid back end structure in place, it literally works for you in the sense that things are happening behind the scenes like magic. Like you and I both work with a program called Go High Level. We both use as a white label version of that program. And what I love about that program specifically is that it has everything that we need on the back end that is going to allow for the client experience to run smoothly in one program without having to duct tape a bunch of different things together. And people are like, I don't know what a Zapier is. I don't know what that means. I don't want to have to plug all of these things together. It's all in one. And so when I know that, I have a lead magnet, like you said, a freebie that somebody clicks on and they submit their email, it's going to go into our system. And our system has automations that will send them the correct email, and it will bring them into this different labels that will help us to nurture them in different ways. And all of these things can happen on the back end. And that sounds
beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's so amazing, right? And it's like people are like, oh my gosh, I want that. And then they get the subscription for it, which is really inexpensive when they use, one of our coupon codes, right? But it's overwhelming because it's like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what a workflow is. I don't know what's a campaign versus a template, which is a whatever. And so you come in like this, like superwoman, and you help people look good, just like you used to do in the chair, right? What people in your chair, like you help them look good from a client experience perspective. And you can help them do it without causing all the gray hairs that that happened when I had to figure it out myself, And that's what's so cool is that you're essentially giving people not only the reputation experience that they want, but you're also taking off a lot of the stress that goes into making all that back end magic work.
Yes.
And therefore, right? One of my, you actually mentioned a couple of authors that are my favorite. One of my favorite books is 10X is Easier Than 2X by Dan Sullivan, Benjamin Hardy. And that's all that this is, the concept is about, right? Is you staying in your zone of genius, you doing what no one else can do. And you keep refining that 20%, 20%, 20% until you are like the expert on that. And that means that, though, friends, is that we have to release from our death grip all of the tasks and the jobs that we either don't like to do or aren't good at or having to learn to the capable hands of somebody like Cindy, who can make that magic happen without causing all that extra stress, so that you can stay in your zone of genius and actually make all this stuff work, right?
Yep, exactly. And it just brought to my mind back when I was a salon owner. At one point, I had 2 different salons and 17 girls between the 2 salons, and one guy, sorry.
Yeah.
And the rest were girls. There was a barbershop and a beauty shop, and I had to run this. Plus, I had a huge clientele, which I loved. That's the part that I really loved.
Yeah.
So my decision, and they kept telling me, all my coaches kept telling me, because of course I had coaches back then too.
Yeah.
Kept telling me, you need to step away from behind the chair and be the manager of your business. And I'm like, I do, though. Really? I know I need to manage the business, but do I? So what I decided was that I needed to hire somebody to be the manager. So that's what I did instead of me being that person, because then it freed me up to be able to deal with the clients and, have that relationship, all the clients, not just mine, but everybody. So I think sometimes you have to put the money out. And that's the other thing that people, it's like, oh, but is this really going to help me? Well, yeah, because think about how long have you been trying to build your website or your funnel or your freebie or whatever? How long has that been going on? Well, how much time are you wasting?
Right.
That roadblock.
Right. No, 100%. And it's like we have to, I know I'm not going to encourage anybody to spend money frivolously.
Yeah.
But when you have prayed on it, when you've muscle tested it, when you've done your discernment and you know that this is a strategy that you are being led to with your supernatural business partner, then now it's time for you to get out of the way and figure out, okay, is this something that I think I'm going to enjoy doing? Do I want to see how it works? Blah, blah, blah. Awesome. If the answer is no, then let's look at it this next step, right? So for example, right, Cindy, we recognize this is an investment. So let's just pretend that you decide that you wanted to make $1 million in the next year. Okay. So we know that that's $68,000 a month, right? And then we decide, right? So let's just say that we decide that we want to work 30 hours a week.
Yep.
So I'm going to quick do the math on here, guys, because am on this show. I'm not going to do it in my head, but let's just say, so we said $68,000 a month, and we want to divide that by, so we said 30, so 30 hours times 4 weeks, right, is 120. So 120 hours a week, that's $566 an hour that your time is worth. Okay. So if you are going to be able to spend money that's less than that, that's a win. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at the big picture as the investment in your future and thinking about it in terms of, and so even if you're like, okay, I'm not necessarily charging $500 an hour yet, but maybe I am charging 100. If I can pay somebody $30 an hour to do what I would take, and displace me from the amount of time that I can spend making $100 an hour, I'm still winning. And so we have to look at it like that. We also have to recognize that there is a cost and a price for peace. And if I am going to burn myself out, if I'm going to be discouraged, if I'm going to whatever, that's going to cause me to eventually quit, that cost is way too high. Yes. And so we got to look at this like, okay, all right, so this is something that I want to do, and I'm willing to invest the time to help it happen, right? And I always tell people, you guys, like, do not shit on yourself. So not everybody is at a space in their business where you need the fanciness. Not everybody's in a space where you're going to need the fancy funnels and the automations and the text messages that go out automatically and all the big CRM databases and all the things. Like, but if you are at that place where you have prayed on it, meditated on it, and God is saying, yes, this is your next step, then get out of his way and figure out how to make this happen, right? If you are like newer in your business, it's okay that you have an OG way to go about it. Like, hey, if you guys want this, I used to do this way back in the day. I had a freebie, and it was like a face washing guide back when I had my skincare business, right? When they sent me a text or a message in Facebook saying, yeah, I'll take that. Awesome. What's your best email address? And I would email it to them, and then I would just keep their email address in a spreadsheet. Very old school, very low tech, but I still was doing it, right?
Right.
Now we have all these cool ways that Cindy does where it captures all of that automatically, and it could send them emails automatically, nurture emails, and blah, 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 blah. So just give yourself grace that you don't have to like insert yourself into the cyclone if you're not ready. But when you're ready and it's time and God is telling you to do this, and stop getting in his way because you're scared, right? So Cindy, if people are listening to this and they're like, okay, all right, Lachelle, yes, I hear you. Like, yes, I am wasting time and money trying to figure this out myself. Yes, God has been asking me to do this for a while. Why don't we take this conversation to maybe some vocab? How about that first? Why don't we tell them some terminology that might help them scale their businesses, such as, what is a funnel?
What is a funnel? So a funnel, I actually doing a webinar that's called This Ain't Your Mama's Funnel, and it has a picture of an older woman holding a kitchen funnel.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And because when I first heard funnel, that's where my head went. It's like, oh, in the kitchen, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's the shape of it, if you want to think about it visually. Mm-hmm. But what a funnel is that you are collecting people in the very top, biggest part. When you get down to the bottom of the funnel, that's where the sales start to happen. So that's why it's called a funnel. What it is just a way to capture your ideal audience. They talk about this all the time. Your ideal audience, your ideal person that you want in your world. So that funnel is going to capture all of those people that want what you have. So you're not going out there and, talking to friends and family and, a lot of times in direct marketing, that was the one thing that I absolutely did not like about it. I did not like that part. That was just horrible for me. So building a funnel where you're collecting people that want to be with you feels so much better, because then when you reach out and talk to them, you can help them. You know you have what it is that they want. Plus you have their emails. So that's one thing that you own. You own the emails.
Yes.
Them. They are yours once somebody gives you their email.
Yes.
Whereas social media like Facebook, you don't own Facebook. You can't control it. Believe
Right.
me, I've been in some jails a few times, but
Yes.
yeah, you don't own any of those platforms, but you do
Mm-mm.
own,
They could shut them down tomorrow. I've been hacked. I have like 7 people right now impersonating me with different weird names and reaching
right.
out to people. It's
Yeah.
really dumb. And so, yeah, so your email is like your book of business. So that as you collect emails, you guys, that's really going to be what's going to sustain you long term to be able to pivot regardless of what social media platform you decide to use. So okay, so
Just know that those people that drop their information into your funnel, that top part of your funnel, where it's collecting everybody, those are your people.
Yes, they're like opting into, I want to be part of your world.
Whether they end up down at the bottom of the funnel buying something or not, they may not buy today, but they may buy a year from now. And that has happened to me so many times, you know?
Yes.
Somebody will come back a year later and be like, are you still doing websites? Are you still doing, you know? And yeah, I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm a lot better at it than I was then.
Yes, that's amazing. Yes, because it's like you invite them around your campfire.
Yep.
They elect to be there. And how does somebody enter the funnel? You kind of alluded to it a little bit, but let's just bake this very basic.
Well, to drop into the funnel, what you have to do is you got to show up.
Yeah.
You know, social media is huge, and this is where we get a lot of our people. And I know that, you know, Facebook has a tendency to be really finicky, but if you have that part in place, you can have that link anywhere. And you can just say, I've got this free guide, this free checklist, this free whatever it is, and, you know, drop the word funnel into the, you know, and I can even have automations in our system where it'll pick that up, not on Facebook personal page, but all the other platforms where it'll pick it up and actually send them the guide.
Yes.
Send them the top part of the funnel.
Yes.
So the way that I like to build funnels, you can build a little simple opt-in page funnel where it's just very simple, very quick, very easy. Or you can do a page funnel where you can actually talk about the next thing that you have. So it doesn't have to end at just the free thing that they get. It could be like, hey, you know, this is getting ready to drop into your inbox, but while you're waiting, watch this short video because I'm going to talk to you about what you're having trouble with, whatever your freebie was about, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, say your freebie was about getting more people on your email list. So, hey, let me talk to you about this, you know, brilliant course that I have that teaches you from the get-go how to build an email, how to, you know, how to structure it, how to set it up, all those things, whatever. So that's what is great about building out this funnel. So you can have it do so many different things, and it runs automatically. Once you've built it, there it goes, and it just runs and runs and runs. Rarely ever breaks. Sometimes there is a glitch in the system, but you fix that really quick, but it runs and runs and runs. You can run ads to those funnels. That's how people have literally scaled from just handing out a freebie to all of a sudden there's, you know, I have one influencer that talks about how in one weekend in her first funnel, she made like $56,000. What? Seriously, on an ad, because that's all she did. And of course, at the time, what she was offering was really sought after. So,
yes. So what she's saying, you guys, is that you have to think about would you love to serve? And I you know, could possibly do a podcast just on this one topic alone, is knowing who your ideal client is and thinking about what is the biggest problem that they're trying to solve right now. And then you create a guide, you create a resource, you solve that problem in a way that is so irresistible that they say, here, I will give you my email in exchange for that because I need that. And so they're essentially raising their hand and they are entering into your system. And this is what Cindy builds in the background. So basically they go in and she's the one who's building the little page that says, enter your email and your name here. This is what you're going to get. And she's the one who's building that. It gives them the freebie. And then maybe they get an email that says, okay, awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Let me tell you a little bit more about this. Or maybe she'll have automatic emails that will be sent to this person, just helping them get to know you a little bit better, because we're in a crowded, noisy sea out here, right? And all of these things are happening in the background until they get to the point where they know you well enough and you keep offering them things to solve their problems that they're like, well, I need to buy this. And all of this is happening in the background. And because you actually have systems in place that are working, their perception, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, is like, she must have her shit together. Right. Yeah. And therefore, I can trust her that she's going to take care of me because I feel like I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? Because our body is going to energetically be gravitating towards a more stable energy source. And so by having a system in place where you feel to the other person like you're stable, like you have a solid program and process in place, they're going to be attracted to that as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. When you opt into something and then, say, for instance, you purchase something from somebody and then you never, ever, ever get any kind of, they never follow up with you.
Yeah.
I did this one time where I purchased something and I really liked it. It was this cream and it had, I don't know, sparkles in it and stuff. And so, 4 or 5 months later, I like needed some more. And I'm thinking, I don't remember her name.
Right.
Well, she never followed up with me. I can't.
Yeah.
I barely remember the name of the company, but I don't remember her name. But had she been sending me some emails or sending me some information every once in a while, I would have been like, oh, yeah, I need some more.
100%. In fact, one of my clients has a very, very cool niche boutique where she creates these handmade garments, like these amazing fashion statements. But her mission is to empower women overseas to have jobs and to have employment. And it's just a really cool mission. And so we were chatting, and one of her things that she's doing with me is being able to create this sustainable email system so that she has a relationship being built with people who understand her mission and her beautiful fashion, to allow for that long-term relationship to grow, right? And so it's so much more than just capturing a sale, guys. This is about a sustainable process that can run automatically for you behind the scenes. So Cindy, if somebody is listening to this and they're like, okay, I know that this is where I'm being led. I know that I need to start taking those next steps. What would you say would be a great first step to take?
Well, the first step I like to take with everybody is I like to have a chat with you. I want to know if we're going to work well together. Number one, I want to know, I mean, not everybody's going to like my vibe or whatever. That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah. Because there's somebody out there that does. Just like a hairdresser. There's 10 hairdressers down the street. Totally. You're not going to do everybody's hair. Yeah. So, and that's fine. That's great because you're going to end up getting paired with who you should be with. Right. For the most part. Yeah. And so I like to really dive in because I know I work right now with an artist and I absolutely love her vibe. She's very whimsical. She's very, everything. She made that mandala for me. I just love it. I love it. I put more energy into that than I do for my own stuff. Yeah. And this is her product, this is her thing. Yeah. But I'm telling you, I get excited about being able to work on it. And so, I love that part. But I would say that your first step needs to be finding somebody that you can work with. Number one. Okay. Find somebody that you like what they have to say, you like this vibe. And if you have, I don't know, if you just don't feel it, don't go there. Yes. Be like, hey, I just really can't afford it right now. Or whatever you want to say, Right. But if you do want to work with them and they come back with a proposal and it seems out of your price range, think about this. I opened many salons in my career. Did it cost me more than $500? Did it cost me more than $2,000? Yeah, more like $50,000, $60,000. Right. So we're talking, you gotta, and I didn't make that money first. You gotta invest and you gotta let it
Right.
process. Not that
Right.
it's going to cost you $50,000 to build an online business. I'm
Right.
not saying that.
No.
But I am saying that you have to give it time. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks. You don't build the funnel and then all of a sudden a bazillion people are dropping into it. You have to build it and you have to build momentum. And I would say give it a good 6 months with your person. And if you're not seeing conversion in 6 months, and conversion meaning those people that are dropping into your funnel are actually buying something.
Right.
If you're not seeing that in 6 months, something's wrong.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. And so Cindy, if you're, really hitting the hearts of some people who are listening to this and they're like, I'm kind of curious because I've heard Cindy talk about how she didn't know anything and now she discovered that she's like the tech person, like she loves this stuff. Maybe that's me. Do you have suggestions or options for somebody who is maybe like, oh, I kind of want to just try to see if I can figure this out? And then if I'm like, oh, this is not for me, then I have Cindy to go back to or somebody like Cindy. So what resources would you have for somebody like that?
Well, I just did a whole course on building a funnel in Go High Level. It literally walks you through if you know absolutely nothing, like you can't even plug into the platform.
Yeah.
Literally walks you through how to organize all of your content for the funnel, how to go and get this stuff for the funnel. And part of it is AI. And if you guys aren't using AI, you need to be.
Totally.
Everybody needs to be using AI.
Yep.
That's where it's at. And it makes your life so much easier, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It actually sparks creativity. That's
yes.
the other thing.
Yes.
So but this course walks you through even how to set up your domain, even how to go purchase it. Everything. I have like little cheat sheets in there. I have checklists in there. I have prompts for your chat GPT.
Okay, cool.
Where you want to be. And then each of the modules have like little videos that kind of walk you through some of those little difficult steps. I like to watch things.
Yes.
I don't mind having it written, but if you're watching it and going through the written part, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yes.
So
that's so cool. So you basically created a resource for people. So if they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to know how to do all of this stuff, they actually could watch videos that you've created.
Yes. And
yay, that's so cool.
It's very inexpensive.
Awesome.
But it is built on Go High Level, which if you guys aren't on Go High Level, it is the #1 all-in-one platform that is out there today.
It is. But it's not, I will be honest though, it's not intuitive, you guys.
It's tech heavy.
It's not intuitive, meaning that if you get in there and you're like, what the hell did I just do?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with you. It just takes a little bit of figuring it out. So if I had a resource like you were talking about back then, I wouldn't have these sparkles in my hair. Like,
no, it's true. And I was when I first started, I kept trying to go on YouTube and find different trainings. There just wasn't anything.
Yeah.
So I literally just pushed through, asked the tech support a lot of questions. I mean, sometimes driving them absolutely crazy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me like I know nothing. Just
right.
Exactly. Yes. And they're trying to do it for you. And I'm like, no. I know how to do this. So so that helped. But not everybody has the time or the patience to do that. And I have to say,
yes.
If you know how it works, that's fine. But if it's not your thing, pick it up, please.
Yes.
I remember one time when I first started this whole journey, my grandson, he's a gamer. And so he's on the computer all the time. Yeah. And so he would help me with certain things. And I was trying to edit a video. And if anybody's done that, it is difficult. It is a difficult thing. And, you got to move the little things over. They have to be in the right spot and all that stuff, So I'm trying to edit this video and I call him upstairs and I'm like, Ethan, can you just help me with this? I mean, it's driving me crazy. I'm supposed to have this done by tomorrow and I just can't believe it. I can't do this. And he looks at me and he puts his hand on my hand and he goes, Nana, sometimes you just got to walk away. So...
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for making tech seem less scary, less intimidating, and getting those butts out of the way. Like you guys, your business can be beautiful. You can have the most amazing client experience, and to to look like you have your shit together. And it doesn't have to be stressful. And there are resources out there. And I just am so grateful, Cindy, to bring you into the conversation. I'm so grateful that my clients get a chance to have you in their back pocket inside of the program. And just, I'm so blessed to have you in my life. So thank you for being here. Is there anything else that we haven't had a chance to chat about that you really want to make sure that you say?
No, I just encourage people to move forward with your business. Figure out what it's going to take for you to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people do what they do best to help with that, because I'll tell you what, when you find those people that help you, it's such a great feeling, because you're moving ahead and you're getting that stuff implemented. Don't sit on it for a year. Don't wait. If you've got something to give the world, they're waiting for what you have.
Oh my goodness. Somebody's praying for you right now. Absolutely. Oh gosh. I love that. And you guys will make sure that we have all of the ways that you can connect with Cindy inside of the show notes, including her freebie that's going to help you to know exactly how amazing she is by getting into that resource. And so, Cindy, thank you so much for being here. You guys, I hope that this helped to give you hope that there are ways to work smarter, not harder, and that you don't have to do it alone. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you next week. Thank you, Cindy, for being here.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity. Identify what's holding you back and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.